Hello, this is Professor White. Today we will look at quadratic inequalities. Let's get started. Procedure. Step 1. When you have a quadratic equation or a nonlinear equation, move everything on one side and you have an inequality so that you have a 0 on one side. Factor the non-zero side and set each factor to 0, and those are called critical values. Draw a number line, put the critical values in there, and test every region whether or not the left-hand side of your equation becomes negative or positive, and then write your answer in interval, number line, or set notation. So I'll just do that. Okay. Here's a question. Solve. What was the procedure? You have a 0 on one side. All I have to do is just factor. This one factors as 3, negative 2, x plus 3, x minus 2. All right? Set each factor to 0. X plus 3 equals 0, x equals negative 3, x minus 2 equals 0, that means x equals 2. Now go to the number line, put those values. It's going to be negative 3 and 2. 1, 2, negative 3, and 2. All right. Now, here's a region, here's another region, and here's the third region. I go and test a point. Let's go, I test this point, x equals negative 4, in that region. What you do, you go and put it in there. Negative 4 squared, negative 4, negative 6. That will give you 16 minus 4 minus 6. This will give you 16 minus 10. 6. That's a positive number, so that means it's going to be positive right in this region. Now let's look between negative 3 and 2. Now let's pick a test point. X equals 0. Put it in. 0 plus 0 minus 6. That ends up negative 6. That means it's negative. It's going to be negative right here. And let's pick another point after 2, like 3. That's going to be my test point. Put it in. I'll get 3 squared plus 3 minus 6. That one is 9 plus 3 minus 6. That's 12 minus 6. That's 6. That means this is going to be positive here. Now that I have my signs, I go and look at my question. Question was saying, where is it negative? Because it's saying that. Where is it negative? If this was greater than 0, the question would be, where is it positive? Where is it negative? It's negative right here. So let's write it in a couple of different ways. So let's go the set notation. X such that x is between negative 3 and 2. Interval notation. Starting point negative 3, ending point 2. Since it's less than, it's in parentheses. Or number line notation. And number line notation is simply the number line. You have negative 3, 2, and you are only taking negative 3 to 2. Okay, I did it all. Three notations. Let's go to the next example. X squared plus x minus 6 greater than or equal to 0. Okay, I do the same exact thing that I did here. Okay? Because the left-hand side of my equation is the same. So I'm going to go and do this entire step here. So let's call that star. And the star gets you this. -3, 2, and I got positive here. I got negative here. I got positive here. Remember, from this page. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at the question. What is the question asking? The question says, where is it positive or 0? Okay, what's that mean? Where is it positive and 0? It's positive here and here. Where is it 0? It's positive, it's 0 here and here. How do I write that? So let's write it in set notation. X such that it has to be less than -3, and since I want -3, it has to be equal because of that greater than or equal to sign. Now I have this piece. How am I going to put this piece and that piece together? You're going to say or. X has to be greater than or equal to 2. Here's my set notation. Let's do interval notation. It's going to be all the way to the left. That means -infinity to -3. And I want -3. And -infinity never takes a bracket. So -infinity to -3. How do I write or in interval notation? Union, put it together. Union is put it together. 2. How big does it get? Positive infinity. All right. If you want to write it in number line is going to be -3, and I want -3. You show it with a black dot to the left, and then 2, black dot to the right. If this was not equal to, you would have shown it with the open circle. Well, do you have to have a quadratic to do this stuff? No, you don't. Actually, you can do the same exact thing, for any kind of thing, a nonlinear thing, but what you need to do is just factor it. And let's assume they gave me the factored form. And then set each factor to 0, make a number line, and do your test points. Okay, so this one gives me x minus 1 is 0, that means x is 1. X minus 3 is 0, that means x is 3. X plus 1 is 0, that means x equals -1. So I go and I put all that on a number line. All right, 1, this guy, 3, this guy, -1, this guy. How many regions do I have? Here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, here's 4. I have to go test them. Okay, let's go test them. Let's go and let's test x equals -2. Put it in there. So you're going to get -2, -1, -2, -3, -2 plus 1. You don't even have to go calculate it. I know this is going to give me negative. This is going to give me negative. This is going to give me negative. 3 negatives, that will give me a negative. So that means this is going to be negative here. Now let's pick between -1 and 1. That means pick this, x equals 0. And that's going to give me -1 times -3 times 1. That will give me negative, a positive. So it's going to be positive here. Do you see it? How about 1 to 3? It doesn't matter what you pick. It has to be between 1 and 3. Let's pick 2. When you put 2, look what you get. 2 minus 1 times 2 minus 3 times 2 plus 1. You don't even have to calculate it. This will give me positive, this will give me negative, this will give me positive. The whole thing is going to be negative. Now let's go pick another point, like 4. Okay, then put it in here. 4 minus 1, 4 minus 3, 4 plus 1. What's that mean? This will give me positive, positive, positive. That means it's going to be positive here. All right. Now what are they asking me? Where is it negative? It's negative where? Look at your line. Here and here. How do you write it? And I also wanted equal, so that means I need to include this, this, and this. Let's write that. Set notation. X such that to the left of negative 1, that means x is less than or equal to negative 1. Or to the right of this and left of that, x is between 1 and 3. And that's it. Now let's write it in interval notation. Interval notation is from all the way here to here. So that means negative infinity to negative 1. Do I want negative 1? Yes, because it's equal. Union from here to here, 1 to 3. And I want 1 and I want 3. Do you see it? Okay. Very good. So negative, positive, negative, positive. All right. Very good. So this actually concludes the portion where we talk about inequalities. So make sure that you pay attention to the equal sign in there. Make sure you do your number line and you put everything in there and just try it out and be very clear about which notation you use.